along Jogo Road. So right now it is at least time for our first conversation of the day. We want to talk about interior decor. That will be our focus this morning, and Brita will be helping us understand more about that, at least interior decor within a budget. So to put that into perspective, I'm joined live by Brita, who will be helping us understand more about that. Brita, good morning.
Good morning.
How are you doing this morning?
Okay, so we're going to be looking at interior decor, doing it at a budget and understanding what you're supposed to be doing. Planning and using your finances, value for your money. That is basically what we will be talking about.
All right, Brita, you are the CEO of Bees Decor. Tell us a bit about that.
Okay, so Bees Decor Hub is a company that has begun. It's new, I'd say that, but interior design has been something I was doing freelance for a very long time. Like I knew I had the power to do it. So I just started Bees Decor Hub around 4 months ago. It's picking up well. We are focused on uniqueness. We are focused on affordability. We are focused on style and space and making every space be directed by the client.
Okay, you started Bees Decor only 4 months ago, so that means it's at least it's more like still a baby there. Was it necessitated by the pandemic that made you to at least think outside the box and begin something that you loved?
Yeah, initially I'm a medic, but based on what is happening, I felt like I needed a side hustle and I needed to be more serious because I had so much idle time staying at home. So I decided to just push everything into interior decor as we wait for the country to stabilize. So it's still very young.
It is still very young. And again, just remind our viewers that I'm speaking to Brita Osoro, an interior designer and also the CEO of Bees Decor Hub. She's talking to us about that specific business matters, again, to do with interior design and interior decor. And this morning, like I told you earlier when we were beginning the show, is that our focus will actually be predominantly on interior design within a budget. So that means if you're a startup, an entrepreneur, and you would love to venture into the interior decor business, interior design business, then this is the conversation for you, because you'll be getting to understand how to exactly do that just within a budget. Now, Brita, coming back to you. So aside from remodeling, repossession, and decorating, spaces, what more do you do as an individual?
Okay, as an individual, we mainly look at making things, designing, drawing them down from scratch and designing them. We look at introducing new things into the market. That is, like, I try to tap creativity around me and use it to create something that is unique. Also, I am trying as much as I can to support Kenyan brands personally. So I look into Kenya before I can look at any other thing. So that is where I stand as Bees Decor Hub. I try as much as possible to make it unique, make it different, give a different vibe and a different understanding into interior design.
Well, I love what you've said, Brita, that you're trying also as much as you can to support at least, our kind of local material, if I may say. Do you feel like, again, that is one problem that comes up with interior designers? We just feel like we want to export and want to try new things and forget that we also have our own stuff that we can use to promote our own stuff as a country. What is your perspective on that?
Okay, my perspective for me to initially decide to maintain using Kenyan brands was because I realized I am a small business starting and I'm also custom making. I'd want the same support, and I know and I have felt the pressure in the market when it comes to Kenya. Now, as an interior design, when you're dealing with a client, it is in your place to advise the client. So as much as these other companies outside the country are making items, we still have companies in the country that are making good items. So as much as an item is original in Germany, it is also original in Kenya because it was made in Kenya. And there are qualities that substances go through. We have KEBS, we have KRA, we have companies that govern the quality of items that are pushed into the market. So when Kenyans push things into the market, it means they really understand what they are pushing into the market. We really need to concentrate on supporting Kenyan brands. We build our country before we build any other country.
Well said, Rita, there. It is important to support our Kenyan brands before we go outside. Now, let's come to our focus this morning when you talk about interior design, is doing it within a budget. Because oftentimes the question that comes up is that I want to begin this business, I want to be an entrepreneur, but I do not have enough capital. So for you when you're beginning it, how was it like for you? What did you need? How did you go about it?
Okay, first I did the market study. You do not rush into a business as much as you understand it. You begin by studying the market, your focus area. So my biggest challenge was finances. Then this corona has really destroyed us financially. But you try as much as possible. You first of all study your market. After you have a good market knowledge, then you begin by understanding what exactly are you doing in interior design. Because in interior design, we have the basic interior, then we have the decorative interior. So you choose which one exactly you need to start with, because you cannot mingle all of them together. So basically, I began with decorative designing because it was more affordable and it was easier to get things in the country at that specific time. I would get fabric for pillowcases, I would get fabric for curtains very easily. So based on the capital that you have and wanting to start this business, you should do a market strategy, understand where you're sourcing your things. Make sure you get the cheapest, make sure you get value for your money. By getting value for your money, it means you need to look at color quality, fabric quality, all those things. And these things need time. And as a beginner, we need patience, we need time, we need encouragement. So these are basically my grounding when I began the business, especially at a very difficult moment. Yeah.
Wow, well said and fair enough. But I really love what you said in terms of identifying your market, which is again is more of a wake-up call for those that want to start businesses, and especially when you talk about how to start and probably the capital to look out for. So exactly what you're saying is that sometimes you don't need to look at the money per se of beginning, but identifying your market. Who are you going to sell this product to? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, that is exactly what I'm saying.
Okay.
Like, who is my target? Who am I targeting? Am I targeting people who are looking at decorative interiors? Am I targeting people who need the whole overhaul? What is my target? Have a focus, limit yourself to that focus. The rest will come as growth. When you move from decorative to the whole overhaul of interior design, it will be termed as growth. But we cannot ask you to push yourself into doing the whole interior when you don't have the capability to do it right now. So term every step as growth and start small as you grow.
Start small as you grow. Fair enough, Brita, just telling us it is important, at least for those upcoming entrepreneurs, for those who want to start businesses. Sometimes money is not really quite the issue. Now, Brita, for someone who is into the interior business, interior design, obviously there are this emerging trend. So what do you do, or what are you doing as a person to at least keep up to get knowledge of this emerging trends? What are you doing?
Basically, right now, we have all the time in the world to be in the internet. If you are willing to do a certain business, you should be willing to invest into studying and understanding the business itself. So I usually take a lot of time to look at the revolution of the design world, and that is the trend that is coming. So once I understand the trend, I don't just jump into, I also study the acceptability of the trend in my country. So if it is acceptable in my country, then I should start selling it out. And that is where the uniqueness comes in. So you study first the trend that is coming in, then you had a market strategy, you had your focus, you had your people that you wanted to sell to. So you start by studying how they're accepting this trend first before you can push it out in the market.
So study your market is also what you're saying, and that, given that there's so much time on our hands, at least you are ensuring that you get the knowledge, in terms of interior design, especially as a person, right?
Yeah.
Okay, now 4 months into doing this kind of business, because that's what you told us when you're beginning, how has it been like for you? What has been the greatest challenge doing interior design?
Okay, my greatest challenge to start with has been sourcing of items, because with COVID-19, we're not able to move around. So most of my sourcing has to be done through my phone. Secondly, finances, though I don't term that as a challenge, because that is basically what we are focusing on. So in order to get finances, you have to use finances. So it means you work a little harder, look a little harder. So thirdly, my biggest challenge has been, as interior design is getting a focus right now based on the fact that COVID-19 has put a lot of people at home. So people look at their spaces and understand they need something in the space, but there is also the factor about people being limited to what they can do based on what COVID-19 has put people through. So that basically has been my challenge, the fact that I cannot move around, money, and a limitation when it comes to my clients. So that is where we also come in with the budget strategy. You try to make them understand that they can do interior design as much as they don't have the money they dream to be having to start it. So basically those are my challenges.
Okay, now saying that at least you have been limited, in terms of movement, and you have largely been using your phone. So in terms of your business, is it online? Do you have a physical store? How does your operations look like?
Okay, I currently have a physical store that I'm working on, but 90% of my business is online. 90% of it is online. We sell online, then we do Zoom calls and choose fabric. Yeah, and I try as much as possible, because it's online, I try as much as possible to keep my trust level between me and the client to be very much okay.
Now, saying that at least, a bigger percentage of your business you're operating online, how is it operating a business online, given the fact that sometimes there's trust issues from clients? How are you doing it as a person?
Okay, you really cannot limit the issue of trust, but you can try as much as possible to assure them that you will deliver what you want. Okay, there is also the element of them seeing work that you have ever done before and understanding that you're someone that does exactly what is expected of you. Also, we use referral based on people that I had worked with earlier on as a freelance interior designer. So the referrals I get and the comments I get on my work, they try and win the trust of the client. So basically, when movement was isn't a little bit, I'm a bit able to move around right now, so with precaution, but I try as much as possible to move around. Also, when it comes to non-decorative interior design, I usually try and advise the client to do a price check of every item before you reach out to me. So as much as you want me to do something for you, you need to also do a study so that we are on the same page on what you really want. Trust is something that grows with the business. It is going to grow. Like in the 4 months, I think I'm having a good percentage of trust right now.
Or at least having a good percentage of trust from clients. But Britta, we just understand that sometimes there are those difficult clients, complaining clients. A case in point, someone has seen your work probably online, seeing that a good percentage of your business, you're operating it from online, and they probably give you what it is that they want. Then you go do the work, you're delivering it to them, but they go like, Britta, this is not exactly what I wanted. So how do you go about that? Do you repeat the job? How do you go about dealing with such difficult kind of clients?
Okay, basically I am client-based, I am customer-based, so I work to serve you before you can pay me. So if you're not satisfied with what you're paying for, it is only fair for me to make it satisfactory to you. So when I push a product forward to a client and the client feels it is not what exactly they wanted, I take up the loss. Remember, in a business, the business is 100%. Your profit should be at least 70%. The other 30% is spread between liability and losses. So you get to understand that there are certain things you will do that maybe go wrong somewhere, and you have to take the responsibility because it is in your place as the original interior designer to take up the task. So you meet difficult clients, it is normal, but you learn how to handle them and try as much as possible to make it satisfactory to them. That is basically what I do. I go back all the way down and start afresh to make sure that you get exactly what you wanted.
Well, you said something very important, which I'd really love you to expound a bit on that, especially for those that are watching and they probably would want to start a business or even venture into the interior design, decor kind of business. And you've said that sometimes, especially for that business owner, it is that ability to be able to take up a loss. That doesn't quite happen oftentimes because one would wonder, I already, did the job, I delivered, so why am I taking up a loss? Talk to us a bit about that, at least for people to be able to understand. When you say that, what exactly does it mean and how do you go about taking up a loss as a business person, as an entrepreneur?
Okay, the moment you walk into a business, you should understand that loss is inevitable. It will come either way. So you should understand that you should be ready for loss. So where the problem comes in is where there is no mutual conversation between the giver and the taker. And that is where you get, there'll be maybe commotion and misunderstanding. But when there is a mutual understanding between the giver and the taker, then there is always an understanding. You will always get a ground. So before you take up a task, talk to the client, understand exactly what they want. But if in one way or another, remember like me, I use fundis, I use people from outside to make certain things. The fundi might mess me up. And that is not the blame to the giver, it is the blame to the taker, who was me as the business person. So it is, it has come to a point where business people in Kenya need to understand that loss is almost inevitable, and you should allow yourself to be a risk taker. It's worth it. Learn to be a risk taker. Do not feel bad when there is loss, because once you have made one product, it went well, and you had a good relationship with the client, it means you will definitely get referrals, you will get good radiance, you will get good wordings from your clients. So be ready to take the risk, be ready to accept the loss. It is almost inevitable when it comes to business. As long as the loss is not 80% and every other thing is 20%, okay.
That is really beautiful. Yeah. Allow yourself to be a risk taker. Now, let me just pick your mind a bit on that. Do you think that is one of the problems that we have with many business enterprises and even for startups, not really wanting to take risks and to go all the way out? Yeah?
Yeah, that is a problem, because during my client study and my market study, I realized that a lot of people were stretching towards international companies. And one of the main reasons why international companies are doing very well in our own country is because they took these things and they understood them. They take the risk. Like, they'll tell you, this person is willing to listen to me and redo something that was not done the right way. They give me exactly what I want. It does not mean that a local company cannot do that. It only means that local companies are afraid of the risk and the loss that might outcome from a certain kind of job. You see, so I'd like to encourage them. This is a very big challenge, as much as it is not talked about, but a lot of people walk into business with the aim of profit and not understanding that everything good comes with a bad patch somewhere in the middle.
Okay, fair enough. And just again, to remind our viewers, is that I'm speaking to Brita Osoro, CEO of Bees Decor Hub. She's talking to us about matters interior design and interior decor, and exactly how you can begin as someone who wants to venture into this business and how to do that just precisely within a budget. Brita, coming back to you, there's a part where you talked about payments, and this specifically goes to those online clients. What mode of payment do you have, and what makes it so easy for you and sustainable for you to use this specific mode of payment?
Okay, so mostly we use M-Pesa, that is pay bill or direct to our number. But when it comes to huge money, like huge transactions of money, we have to do it through a bank so that the client gets security for their money. So we usually do the transactions through the bank. But if it's payment for goods or services, we usually use M-Pesa. So I use M-Pesa because it is efficient for me. It works very well for me. I am able to access my money at any time without difficulty. So that is basically what I use. But also with M-Pesa, there's the element of delivering and not being paid. But that is a challenge. We expect tech gurus to do something about it. But yeah, that is also a challenge. Sometimes you deliver, you have malicious clients, they don't pay. But yeah, we hope that will be sorted. We'll get an option on what we are supposed to do about that.
All right, and still just talking about that mode of payment and the way of delivery. Again, there's those clients, probably your mode of payment being that you have to pay fast before you deliver the product. But here there are these clients that say, for me, I have to see and ascertain, regardless of where they are, before I pay. How do you go about this?
Okay, when it's an item, let me give an example of a pillowcase. So maybe I'm selling this pillowcase. A client feels they want the pillowcase, but they want to see it first. I usually take the risk, and that is where the risk taker comes in. I take the risk to even send one piece to that client, then talk to the client about it, because I'd rather go a loss of one piece than send you a whole lot and you pay for nothing. So I usually send one sample piece to the client. The client looks at the item. If they feel it is up to their standard, then we push through with the order. Also, I am working on getting contacts in almost 10 towns right now where my items can be accessed. Sample of my items can be accessed. So if you're in a town where my business is not in and you feel you need that thing, then I will liaise you to my contact. You can look at the things and then purchase, make an order from there.
Okay.
That I feel limits my exposure to loss and fraud.
All right. So again, that aspect of risk taking as a business person also comes into play. All right.
Yeah.
Okay, fine.
It does come into play.
Okay, good enough. Now, what about this bargaining clients? A case in point, this is what this product goes for. And you see, for you as a business person, you already know why you're placing the sale on that particular product. But then there's this client who just want to say, for me, I can only afford this. So again, just for the benefit of helping our viewers understand, and especially for those starting up entrepreneurs to, again, do things within a budget, how do you go about dealing with such kind of clients? The one that will just bargain. But for you as a business person, you still feel like that you have to sell this product. How do you navigate through?
Okay, so basically when it comes to customers, the moment I decided to open the business, I understood that I had to deal with very many types of customers. We get those customers most of the time, but it's all about making them understand the quality of the product and the price, the reason why that product is being sold at that price. If I am able to cut my profit limit maybe by a little just so I can accommodate you, that is something that I can do. Okay. But if it is almost impossible, I will try as much as possible in a humble way to explain to you that that is the best price I can give the item to you with. So most of the time, clients go away dissatisfied. Most of the time, like sometimes you'll find a client who feels as if you didn't accommodate them, but then somewhere along the way, they just get the sense. You know, like you cannot practically satisfy 100%. There's the 20 or the 10% that feels you're not doing the things right, but you just move on. There's nothing you can do about such clients because they are also supposed to be willing to get to the price of an item if they really need it.
Okay, you just move on. But I love what you say, that sometimes you can be able to cut down the price a bit to accommodate a client. We don't see more of that for, in regards to business owners or even entrepreneurs. What really makes you as a business person, especially in the design business, to have that thought that I can be able to cut down the cost a bit to just accommodate this client? And what is the importance of that for the sake of a business person or a starting up kind of entrepreneur?
Okay, basically in business you need profit.
Okay.
As small as the profit margin is, or as tiny as the profit margin is, it is still profit. And if you feel you can accommodate a client because they just need maybe 100 bob or 50 bob less, and that would cut your profit margin, you need this client again tomorrow and the day after. You need referrals from this client. So there is no need of being greedy for a 70% profit when you can have a 60% profit and accommodate 5 more clients. So that is basically what I usually look at. Secondly, you should also realize that the more your money lies around in an investment, the less value you get for your money. So it is good if you have products that are moving through the market very fast, so you can recycle your money. So when you cannot accommodate clients who will help you recycle the money, it is almost impossible. You will close down in a very short period of time.
Okay, wow. And I think that's why now we're getting, okay, that is now the importance of at least sometimes as an entrepreneur or someone starting up to cut down a bit on the cost just to accommodate the client. Now, earlier on, you had also mentioned that you are both online and you have a physical store. How would you compare the two, being in business and especially trying to do it within a budget? Because sometimes one would think, if I'm doing it within a budget, then I just need an online, platform, because there I can use Facebook, the Gram, and YouTube. But then having a physical store, sometimes that brings that idea of I have to be paying rent. Yet I'm trying to do this thing within a budget. So having an online platform and a physical store, how would you compare the two?
Okay, basically right now online is thriving. It is really thriving because a lot of people are accessing items through online. But normally I would advise someone to have both. This is because you can choose to at least get just a small shop somewhere. You'll do referrals of your shop through your online business. Now, this is because this is why you need a physical shop.
Okay.
You'll have clients who are walking, clients who do not relate with social media, clients who do not relate with the internet. You will have these clients who will walk in the morning and tell you, I saw something yesterday here and I really need it. So this also gives your business some sort of security. Also, when it's online and you tag a physical shop, it gives the person buying from the other end some sort of security, because this is someone who knows if this item is not delivered, I know where to find this person physically using the physical shop. Also, register your business kindly. No matter how small it is, register that business. It is meant to be known that it exists. This gives you security in very many ways. So when it comes to online and someone does a search on your business, they will find that this is a legal business, a registered business. It also goes back to the element of trust, trust between your clients.
Okay, now we see the importance of having a physical store in as much as you're also, doing online and using the online platforms. Now, coming to just the online platform again, as we close up on that online beat, is maybe you can just tell us from your experience as someone who's in that business, and also using online, how has the online platform helped grow your business? In what capacities, in what way has it grown your business as an interior designer?
Okay, with online platforms, I get to advertise my business. They get to be seen by masses because online is full. So I get to advertise, I get to do marketing, I get free marketing strategy. See, so basically online is more so a backbone for BizDeca Hub for the last 4 months, because that is where I get to source, that is where I get marketing, that is where I advertise, and that is basically where I get most of my sales from. So online is really playing a very big role when it comes to business right now. And it's all about understanding how the online trends are. I'm not saying that I'm really good at it right now, but I'm getting a hang of it. So you just try as much as possible to post something. No matter how tired you are, it is that day that someone would see that something and buy it. So no matter how tired you are, or no matter how low your stock is getting, just try as much as possible to post every morning. You will get a response. There's always someone watching. Online is basically the backbone of business right now until COVID-19 decides otherwise.
Okay, so at least also just try to post, try to keep up with the online trends. If at all you're not understanding, just try to learn a thing or two. That is what you're saying, Rita. All right, so I just want you to hang in there. We want to take a very short break, but we'll be back with Brita Osoro to continue talking to us about designing within a business, within a budget. So that means as an entrepreneur, as a startup, how do you get to do that if at all you want to explore the interior decor and design business? We take that break. Don't go too far. We'll be back.
When we moved from analog to digital, we took the opportunity to share our talanta. And the rise of local radio represented our voices mtaani. And now, in these difficult times, free educational shows are helping our children learn from home. And new ICT and educational platforms are going to make sure that no one is left behind.
Mawasiliano kwetu, nguvu kwako. The Communications Authority of Kenya, opening your world.
The date for the FA Cup final is set, and so are we, as Arsenal and Chelsea face off again on the 1st of August at Wembley. The All-London affair will be broadcast live and exclusive on KBC Channel 1 this Saturday from 7:30 p.m.
Cesar Azpilicueta again for Giroud. Oh, and it's found a way through.
Heads up. It is a showdown worth your wait.
Hamjambo Wakenya wenzangu. Mimi ni Mheshimiwa Mize. Ninalotaka kuambia ni kuwasihi ya kwamba korona iko. Na ili tupigane nayo na tuishinde. Ukikohoa, tafadhali kama una ile ya kujifunika ile tissue, weka mkono hapa. Kama ni chafya yako acho na itabakia pale pale. Kama ni kukohoa yako koholea hapo. Na nakwambia tukizingatia sheria na tuitii, hii corona tutaishinda na nchi yetu tutarudi kama kawaida.
Welcome back, and many thanks for staying with us. We continue with our conversation this morning, our focus being on designing within a budget. And Birita was just talking to us before we went on that break. Birita, now let's talk about another aspect. The aspect of support, because you could be having that capital, you're trying to really budget, trying to have strategy, but sometimes you may just not have the support system that you need. In your case, and again, for the benefit of our viewers to understand probably ways in which they can get support, how did you go about it and how was it like for you?
Okay, growing up, I understood that human beings are the type of people that work with examples. Okay. So if you really need a strong support system, you have to come out strong. Prove to them that this is exactly what you do and you understand what you're doing. I got support by first standing on my own and pushing to a certain level, and then the support system came in. Now, when it comes to support, you should really be careful because humans are humans. Be careful of the kind of advice you get. Be careful on the kind of referrals you get. Always always do a study. As much as I advise you about 1, 2, 3 things, you should also try as much as possible to look into those things before you take the advice. You will always have people advising you, but it is your choice to take the positive, leave the negative, and move on. Now, get a couple of good friends, choose your friends wisely, relate with your family well. You will get the support. Okay, and support is more of networking also, because the more you move into the market and the more you walk into the business, the more you're going to meet people. And in every 5 people you meet, you will meet one person who's willing to help you out in one thing. Never be afraid to speak out. Never be afraid to say when you're feeling not decided. Be easy with it. Basically, do not really put 100% reliance on support. Use 100% reliance on positivity and believing in yourself. Okay. Because basically everyone right now is going through a very difficult moment. Yeah. So putting someone behind you all the time might be very difficult. They might lose it somewhere along the way. Mm-hmm. So it is also good to make sure that you as an individual have a very strong foundation in what exactly you're doing.
Wow, some great nuggets there, Brita. But I think I really love what you're saying there, especially when it comes to, entrepreneurs or startups wanting to seek support. And this is in regards to just what you say in terms of proving yourself. Because oftentimes someone would say, I have the idea. All I just need is for you to back me up. But what you're saying is that it is important for you to prove yourself worthy of that backing.
Yes, never use a second voice. Always use the first voice that tells you you can. Move on. Do what you want to do. Every other person will follow. You need to lead your crew. Lead them to where you want them to support you towards. They cannot support someone they don't see the direction in. So you need to first make it knowledgeable to them exactly what you want to achieve. Yeah. Then the support will come from there.
All right, fair enough. Now, let's look at working effectively under pressure, because this is, again, one of those aspects, especially when work is coming, clients are just ordering in, seeing products here and there. Someone says, I want this, I want that. And sometimes the orders become so many. So for you as a person, how are you able to work under pressure? And how would you tell someone wanting to start this business on how they can be able to go about it and still be able to deliver well to the clients?
Honestly, I feel, in my business field specifically, I feel you will never have so much pressure if you're honest. Okay. So if you are overwhelmed, just tell the client, you need pictures of your pillowcases, but I'm dealing with other clients. There is a schedule or a certain criteria I'm following in serving you. Try as much as possible to serve your clients. So me, personally, I usually have a schedule. Like, I look at all the orders I have. I usually break them based on the number. So when I break them, I communicate to the client. So I'll be like, the first 20, I'll deal with them on Monday in the afternoon. The other 20, I'll deal with them Tuesday in the morning. So I usually try as much as possible to make communication very efficient between me and the client. So as much as you really, it is almost inevitable to get the pressure, but if you're honest, you will never feel the pressure getting to you. Just tell the client, I am not able to deliver today. I will deliver tomorrow. I will do this and this. And make sure you're promising a date that you're sure about. Do not tell a client that you'll deliver tomorrow, and tomorrow you're very sure you will not be able to do it. Okay, there is also this other part of things that you don't have control over. Yeah. Part of these things are the delivery process within the country. So sometimes a delivery company will tell you they'll deliver within 2 days, they deliver after 3 or 4 days. So at that point, you are expected to let the client know that there might be a delay in delivery. Kindly bear with me because it is not my private delivery company. So honesty is the key to pressure. I found that out when I started this business. Honesty is the key to pressure. You will never get ultimate pressure when you're honest.
Honesty is the key to pressure. That is your advice, but also just saying that honesty is very important, because also that is, again, what helps build and create trust to your clientele. Now, you are also planning to work on expand to exterior designs. Tell us a bit about that.
So I'm currently taking online classes on landscaping.
Okay.
I already did the study on flowers, gazebos, and everything. So in the next couple of months, I think I will be okay, because I feel it is only fair for me to walk into a business venture that I'm knowledgeable about. So I'm taking my time to be really exposed and knowledgeable on that element. And once I'm done, I will definitely tell my clients that I'm ready for exterior.
To be knowledgeable and knowledgeable, one important thing, because sometimes that becomes a missing link, you know, especially for business person, feels like already if you have the business, then why else am I getting extra knowledge? So for you, you're saying that you are taking extra classes, and that it's also important for people to try and seek knowledge for business persons.
Yeah. Do not walk into a business that you're not knowledgeable about.
Okay.
It will mess you up.
All
You
right.
will find clients who will really challenge you with all the knowledge they know from social media and internet. You really need to know what you're doing.
All right. Thank you very much, Rita, for your time, just talking to us about designing within a budget, how to go about it. Thank you very much.
Okay.
All right. So again, that has been Rita Osoro, CEO of Bees Deca, talking to us about matters interior design. And I believe that we've also been able to get a bit of those nuggets there, especially how to go about it in case in point where you do not have enough capital. She's really well explained that for us, for someone who wants to start up, how to start, how to go about it, and how to stay afloat in such kind of a business.